What's good? What's good, my people, man? About to get ready to go to this gym. I don't know if you guys gonna be able to, how well you're gonna be able to see me tonight, just due to it being dark. With that being said, I want to address the issues that, it seems like all African Americans have a problem with, which is, Nelly, Snoop Dogg, Soulja Boy, all the people who performed at the little inauguration, like a ball or whatever you want to call it, in DC. I didn't know how I really wanted to address it, but then I was just watching Wall Street Trapper live show, man, and he gave a pretty cool story and analogy, and I'm going to start off with that because I think it will easily explain our problem in our culture as black people. So the story goes a little bit like this. It was a little girl watching her mom cook Thanksgiving dinner, and the little girl seen that her mom cut the sides of the ham off, and the little girl asked her mom, why did you cut the sides of the ham off? And mom said to the little girl, you know what, I don't know. When I was growing up, I seen my mom, which is your grandmother, cut the sides of the ham off. So she said, go ask your grandmother. So the young girl went to the grandma and said, Grandma, I was just watching mom cook the ham, and she cut the sides of the ham off, and she told me to ask you because she seen you do it. And so, Grandma, why do y'all cut the side of the ham off? Grandma said, baby, well, I seen my mom, which is your great grandmother, do it, and I don't know why. So go ask your great grandmother. So the little girl went and asked her great grandmother, and she gave her great grandmother the same spiel, and she asked her great grandmother, why do you guys cut the sides of the ham off? And great grandma said, well, baby, back in the slave days, we didn't have enough room. We didn't have big enough pots to cook a full ham in, so we cut the sides off. And so with that story, that's what's going on in society today. We continue to feel like we have to follow the same rundown traditions, half of the time not knowing why we following the traditions, just because mama said or grandma said, and pots have gotten bigger and hams really haven't changed their size. But this lady still continued to cut the size of the ham because she thought that's how you cook the ham. And I'm starting to notice that in our culture is that when people do anything that's outside of what we deem appropriate for black people, we judge them. We want to say that we're disappointed, which it doesn't matter. We want to complain about what they're doing. And you know what? We as African Americans continue to do a lot of the same things due to tradition. Not because we gotten smarter, not because we developed our own beliefs, not because we researched on our own. We are the only people who continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Why, as African Americans, are we so fearful of change? Change is not a bad thing. And also, change is inevitable. And if change affects you, it's because you wasn't ready for the change. There's a book called Who Moved the Cheese? And it talks about all the different levels of change. And it's a short, quick, little, beautiful little book. And I will tell all my friends to definitely go read that book. But we, as African Americans, need to understand that just because in tradition something seemed right just because your mama and daddy was a Democrat, just because your mama and daddy think Trump was racist and you think Trump racist because of this and that. Bruh, we got a new president and it's time to move on. We complaining about every executive order that was signed. You did not see people doing that when Biden went into the House. You didn't see a bunch of conservative people complaining about everything he was doing the day he walked into the House. We don't care. Let things play themselves out. Put yourself in the best possible position that you can put yourself in, because that's the most important part. Putting yourself in the best position you can put yourself in. And I'm going to tell you one thing, and I would love to hear somebody want to come and debate me about this. You are what you choose to be. Because Wall Street Trapper also talked about that. The rich has been getting richer our whole lives. Even before we existed, the rich class of people have been getting rich, and they're going to continue to get richer, because you know why? They continue to follow the same things that got the person before them rich, and we don't do that. And the poor gets poorer. But you know one thing about the good thing about being part of that poor group? If you choose to take your life into your own hands, you can move yourself from that poor group to that rich group. And you can. And don't say you can't, because there's people that do it every day, every minute. There's a new millionaire made every so many hours now. You just have to choose to sacrifice some things, not want to keep up with the Joneses, and not want to be like everybody else. And then another thing I want to address is everybody I've been seeing has been doing the same thing. They continue to write what happened in history. And all history is doing is making y'all scary. We the only culture, we the only group of people in life that think we're going to go back to slavery. We the only people thinking that way. You know how that has to feel if you live your life in fear? God, if you believe in God, and some of y'all who say y'all believers, we don't supposed to live in fear. That's not what God put us on this earth for, to be living in fear. Like I don't understand that at all. We are the only race of people who feel like we're gonna just go back to Kunta Kinte times, roots, tomorrow. Like, bruh, if we go back to slavery in any moment while I'm still alive, that's because none of us was willing to fight. We in a totally different time. You don't see no other races thinking that way. You don't see the Native Americans running around here thinking that pilgrims are going to come knock them off and change Thanksgiving and do all these. We the only race out here who think that we're going to go backwards. And that's because we think backwards. Move forward, man. I'm not saying, and a lot of y'all take these conversations and y'all take them the wrong way, and y'all think it's to protect Trump or protect. No, I'm telling you, better your life. Because only you can better your life. Before Trump even existed as even a presidential candidate, we have been going through the same ups and downs, regardless who is the president. We are the people who can change it. Nelly, Snoop Dogg, Soulja Boy, them performing at that inauguration ball or concert or whatever it was, that's no different than a racist person going to one of their concerts. Y'all don't know who's in that concert watching your favorite artist while they're performing. The same people that y'all feel like they Uncle Tomming for and that they let you down for. It's the same people that you'll sit next to in a football game and have beers with and cheer for the same team with. We are the biggest hypocrites, man. Like, get your life together, man. And I hope some of y'all see this video, because some of y'all left your previous point of employment where you should have been helping the African-American kids in your school, and you went to a more predominantly white school. So if it was all about you being for your people, you would have stayed and toughed it out where you were. But when it comes to you wanting to promote yourself and wanting to move up, and you feel like you're a more valuable asset, you go over to the other side as well. We all have done it. Everybody does it. There's nobody that's going to sit down and not take a promotion based on who they got to go work for. And I wish somebody would comment on this video, because I can call you out. I'm so tired of these hypocrites, man. I'm tired of people picking out things that want to make them feel good. Man, get off your mama's titties. Stand up for yourself. Think for yourself. If it's the same 2 people commenting on your stuff, those are the only people who riding with you. The other thousands of people ain't even riding with you because they'll comment on it. This stuff getting out of hand, man. We're gonna allow one day or one person to ruin America, and not that the person's ruining it. We're gonna ruin it for ourselves. Be ready for change. You don't have to cut the side of the ham off no more. We have all the resources you need to cook a ham fully its size. And we need to start doing that in life. We have all the resources at our fingertips. I tell you, I talk to so many people every day, especially black people who ain't read a book, who don't know nothing about, I'm talking about basic books too. Y'all talking about them taking African-American history and stuff out of school. Half of y'all Negroes ain't reading your books anyway. And I'm gonna tell you this, I learned everything about black history when I got out of school. It ain't had nothing to do with what I learned in school. This stuff is getting out of hand. We need to do better. We continue to blame the world. We continue to live backwards. We live in fear every day. We the only culture that does that. We live in fear every day. For what? Believe in God. Move forward. Do what's best for you and your household. In the Bible, it said get the plank out of your eye before you point out the plank in someone else's. We out here judging what everybody doing. We judging these famous people pockets. Nelly, Snoop Dogg, Soulja Boy, they got paid a handsome amount of money to do what they do every day. They perform for racist people every day that come to their concerts that you don't even know about. Nelly was just wanting to be in his videos. He talked about Donald Trump, let me in. Like, he ain't changed up, and I feel bad that he went on there trying to protect himself and explain himself. I'm gonna tell you this right now, black people, stop trying to explain yourself to black people, because black people don't listen. They listen to respond, they don't listen to comprehend. We are so backwards, man. We are so backwards. I'm so glad, man, that I raised my daughter to think for herself and to be an independent thinker. And she's not ignorant. We all know racism exists. We all know all these things exist, but you still have the power to control your destiny. And sometimes your path might be a little bit harder. It might take a little bit longer. But man, when you get to the top, don't forget about those people that you act like you were fighting for. Because I see a lot of y'all who move on and you forget about the people who you left behind. And you know different. So I just wanted to say that today. Man, I never seen a country so divided off of worldly things, man. That's the sad part. Y'all being divided by worldly things. This ain't even our world. This ain't even our life, man. God got a bed and a house prepared for you. That's gonna be way better than here. You must be living your best life right now. And not stressing every day about what's gonna happen and if we're gonna go back to slavery and putting all these history stats up. Everything happens for a reason. So live in it. Learn to accept change. Change. And the best way to accept change is to be a change agent. That's why I try to go around and educate people on things. Because people don't want to have a conversation. People don't want to debate with me. You can throw all your subliminals on Facebook and all that stuff. See, some people gonna let you just talk. But one day, when I expose your names and who you are, just be ready, because I'm ready. Because this is crazy, man. Look at the good stuff that's going on. There's good things going on too. The border is getting executed right now. It's being done. We're blocking. We're keeping some of the money to ourselves. They just got a $500 billion Stargate IA infrastructure coming in that's going to create thousands and thousands of jobs right here in this great state of Texas where I am. But you know what? Everybody going to complain because nobody wants to truly work. Everybody wants to be given something. See, when we look at unemployment rates are unemployment rates because people don't want to work. People worrying about the wage and what they're going to get paid by the hour. Sometimes you're going to have to adjust your life. Sometimes you might got to downgrade from your house and move into an apartment. That doesn't define who you are. That defines that, hey, I'm willing to make this change to get where I need to get. Stop slicing the size of the ham, man, and live your life. Your boy's out, man.